How much you want for this?
$1.3 million.
The first seller came into the pawn shop with a heavy antique chest.
The moment I saw this chest, I started drooling. I've never seen anything like it. It is super unique.
The old man said that it likely came from a ship or a stagecoach, and that these were what they called bullion chests, which were used to transport gold and silver.
Was there anything inside it?
Haven't been able to open it.
Have you had a locksmith look at it? Because you got a key right here.
Yeah, I had a couple try to open it, but nobody was successful.
Before discussing the price, Rick and the seller both agreed to call someone who might open it, because without knowing what was inside, it was impossible to determine its true value.
This would be early 17th century, even late 16th century. This was the typical form for the strong boxes. And because they didn't have a banking system back then, this is a real treasure chest.
The expert also explained that the decorative front plate was actually a decoy designed to mislead thieves, and that the real locking mechanism was hidden at the top.
So you think you can open it?
Chances are I'm going to be able to get it open. I'm not going through the front. This is actually where the key goes. Key would go into the top. Now this... Okay, lift up.
It's empty.
Even though the chest was empty, the expert said it was still rare and highly collectible, and that at auction, it could bring between $7,000 and $12,000. However, its realistic street value was closer to $5,000 to $7,000.
Okay, what do you want for it?
Maybe 5 or 6?
I'd give you like $4,000.
If 4,000's a firm offer?
Firm offer.
All right, we have a deal.
The next seller came in carrying a piece of jewelry that used to belong to mafia boss Lucky Luciano.
This used to belong to Lucky Luciano?
That was made for Lucky Luciano. I've had it in hiding for 40 years.
Why would you have it in hiding?
Because this represents his authority. If anybody got possession of this piece, until now, there would have been bloodshed and war within the families.
Rick said Lucky Luciano was one of the most influential crime bosses ever, and that he basically turned organized crime into a structured business instead of a bunch of loosely connected gangs. He also helped create the Commission, which acted like a board to settle disputes between crime families.
So how did your mom get the ring?
There's an individual whose name I cannot use that gave this to my mother. My mother was a woman who did special services for these people because she had their personal confidence. These gentlemen trusted her with things that they couldn't trust anyone else.
The seller said the ring has a pretty unique design, a face with ruby eyes and a diamond heart, meant to represent Luciano's violent reputation. But when Rick asked for proof, the seller said there was no paperwork, even though he'd supposedly checked with a friend in the FBI.
Have an idea what you wanted for it?
Gonna be 6 figures.
Believe it or not, Las Vegas has a mob museum. I know the curator of it. This is the one guy that would actually know. So let me give him a call. I'll be right back.
The expert highlighted Luciano's historical significance, noting his imprisonment in 1937 and eventual deportation to Italy after cooperating with U.S. authorities during World War II. So if the ring really belonged to him, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Do you happen to have any photographs or letters that would establish a relationship between your mother and any of these organized crime figures?
Not truly.
The expert said he's been the curator of the Mob Museum for years and has gone through countless photos of Lucky Luciano, but he's never come across one showing Luciano with this ring.
Considering all the information we have, unfortunately, I just don't think we can conclude that this is Lucky Luciano's ring.
It's just a story.
It's a great story.
Thanks.
Hey, how can I help you?
I've got this Japanese tekidanto.
A Takidanto. I've actually ate at that place. It's pretty good.
The seller explained that the Japanese knee mortar originally belonged to his father, who had brought it back from the Pacific after serving in World War II.
This would launch fragmentation grenades like the ones the soldiers threw, and also a little more high explosive bombs, up to several hundred yards.
Rick explained that mortars had existed for centuries and were originally used to launch huge rocks over castle walls during medieval sieges. But compared to those older mortars, this Japanese Type 89 was lightweight, portable, and extremely deadly.
Okay, and how much did you want for it?
I'd like to get $2,000 for it.
I know absolutely nothing about the value of this thing at all. Do you mind if I have someone come in and take a look at it?
The expert said most mortars needed heavy base plates and extra soldiers to carry them, but the Japanese designed this one to be lightweight and quick to use in battle. Troops could set it into the ground, fire a grenade, and relocate before the enemy had a chance to respond.
Guys would run up on the field, they'd get down, they would hit it into the dirt, scoop it back, would adjust an inner rod here that goes up and down, which would affect range. They'd drop a grenade in, and then they would pull this trigger and off it would go.
The expert explained that rare World War II pieces like this were hard to come by and perfectly legal to own. While online listings often showed crazy asking prices, he said these mortars typically sold for around $2,000 in real-world deals.
I'd give you like $1,100 for it.
Could you go 1,500,
No, because I'm thinking I'll tell you what, I'll go 1,200 and I won't go no more.
1,300?
I'll meet you in the middle at 1,250.
Sold.
The next seller pulled up in one of the most recognizable vehicles in American history, the white Ford Bronco from the O.J. Simpson chase.
I've never seen anything quite like this.
It's the Bronco OJ was in the back seat of.
OJ and his friend, what was his name?
AC.
They both had identical Broncos, but this is the one everyone knows. This one everyone saw on television, the infamous car chase.
The seller explained that he had been OJ's agent at the time and bought the vehicle to prevent it from being used in a controversial tour. He had kept it for over 20 years and had already turned down a $500,000 offer.
3 or 4 things in the past, 30 years, everyone remembers where they were at when the Challenger crashed. Everyone remembers where they were at on 9/11, and everyone remembers what they were doing when they saw the OJ chase.
Rick took it for a short drive to confirm it was mechanically sound. He noted that while the vehicle was undeniably iconic, valuing it was difficult because there were no real comparables. Nothing quite like it had ever sold publicly.
How much you want for this?
$1.3 million. Worldwide, more people have seen this vehicle than any other vehicle on Earth.
But it also has that bad stuff associated with it, the murders.
Now, you know this isn't the one that had the blood in it.
I know, but
The seller lowered his asking price to $1.25 million, but Rick emphasized that the vehicle's connection to the murders made it an extremely risky investment. With no comparable sales to establish its value and a 7-figure price tag attached, he ultimately decided the gamble was too
The deal. All right.
Hey, how can I help you?
I have a thing for you.
What kind of thing?
A 1974 Volkswagen thing.
Can you drive it out back real quick?
I can do that for you.
Rick got excited as soon as he heard about the Volkswagen thing because it had always been one of his favorite cars, and he wanted Corey to see it for himself.
Here it is, guys. My 74 Volkswagen thing. I guarantee you'll have more chicks looking at this car, any exotic, bar none. How's that sound? Completely unbelievable.
The seller said he was parting with the car because his son was about to start college, and he needed money to get him a truck.
My dad actually bought a Volkswagen thing and gave it to me when I was 16.
So how much did one of these things cost new in 1973?
$1,999.
I see why the old man bought it. He's inherently cheap.
Rick said the Volkswagen thing was inspired by Volkswagen's old military-style vehicles from World War II. The strange-looking car ended up being called the Thing, simply because nobody knew what else to call it. He added that some countries even used them as military vehicles.
So what all have you done to it?
All new interior, carpeted. They didn't come carpeted. And then I designed the paint scheme.
You made it the way you like it. It doesn't necessarily make it worth more money.
Rick said that before discussing the price, he wanted to take the car for a drive. He also mentioned that many of the seller's modifications could make the vehicle harder to sell, since collectors usually prefer cars to remain as original as possible.
So what do you think, son?
It's the stupidest vehicle I've ever seen, and I'm cold.
You just have no style. I remember it was like pure freedom when I got this thing. That's why I love this car.
After the drive ended, negotiations began with the seller asking $15,000 for the car. Rick immediately pushed back and countered with $5,000, saying it would cost him another $5,000 to restore it to original condition so it could be sold.
I don't think I'll sell it to you if you're going to turn it back into yellow ugly. 13.5.
I've wanted one of these for years. I just haven't got around to buying one. $5,500 is most I'd go.
I'm going to have to turn that down today.